Hello and welcome back to Purus Tech Java tutorials. In this session, we are going to cover generics, upper bounded wildcards, and lower bounded wildcards along with the unbounded wildcards. So let us see where exactly we can use all these three things. Let's go to our IntelliJ, and here I have already written one Java file, that is upper bound and lower bound example. I have a main method, and in that main method I have some logic here. I'm going to explain it. So in this example, what we wanted to get is the sum of some integer values as well as some double values. So in this example, we will see how we will utilize the upper bound, lower bound, and unbounded wildcards. In this class, I have a method. So currently what it is doing, it is just getting a list of integers. So list is a collection. As an overview, I can tell what is a list. So list is an interface, and there are multiple implementation classes are there in Java, like array list, linked list, and so on. So all these classes, what they provide is dynamically you can add the variables inside this particular list. So the size will automatically grow when you add the elements into the list. So in this method, it gets the list of integers and it finds the summation of all the integers provided in the list. Let's go to the main method where I'm calling this one. So here I have created a list, which is a kind of array list implementation. All these things we'll cover in the collection sessions. And here I'm adding two integers and I'm calling the sum of list values by passing this integer numbers. So it will take these values and it will give me the summation of this numbers. So if I'll run this program, I will get 3. As expected, the output is 3. Let's say I wanted to utilize this particular method by passing some double values also. So what can I do? Can I write like this? List of number, since number is a superclass of integer and double. Can I write like this? No, we cannot write like this. Let's see what happens if we'll go in this way. So I have to define here as number, and this number has a method called n dot int value, let's say. So it will return the integer value of the content of number object. So I have changed this particular method by changing it to number so that I can pass the double values also. But unexpectedly it won't work. Let's see why. If I'll just go down, here I'm passing the list of integers, but it is requiring of type number. Though integer is a subclass of number, we cannot pass a list of integer where we expect a list of numbers. So what can be the solution? This we can write like this: list of question mark, here question mark extends the number. See here, the error went off. So now the compiler is feeling happy. So this is the usage of the wildcard. Wildcards are mostly used in the collections. So question mark is the wildcard symbol here, and extends is one more keyword, and number is a class which is the super class of all these values like byte, double, float, int, long, short, everything. Now this means that this list can contain the numbers as well as the subclasses of the numbers. So this is called the upper bound wildcard. Now this logic will fail in case if I'll send double values. So here I have commented part. Let me just uncomment all this. This is for the double values. So you can uncomment all these statements by just pressing Ctrl and forward slash. So here I have the list of double values and I have added two double values here. One is 4.0 and 5.0 and I'm passing to this sum of list values. So to make this function or method works with double value, we need to change this logic little bit. So let's make this to double. We know that the double can also hold a integer value. So let's just change this to double, and here we need to say like n dot double value and return the sum. So here change the return type to double, and this is the initialization 0.0 is the double value. Now let's come back to our method. Since I have modified the return type to double, here I need to change to double. So now this sum of list values can work with integer values also and double values also, because integer and double are the subclass of number class. Now let's try to run this program and see what happens. We can see here it is working with both integer and double values. Now let's come to the lower bounded wildcard, where to use. Let's uncomment this block of statements, control and forward slash. So here I have written a method. It takes a list of values and in this particular list it adds some elements. So whenever I use the super keyword here, question mark, that is a wildcard, super integer means I am using a lower bounded wildcard. This means I can pass any type of parameter which is of superclass of integer. That is, I can pass only a number type and object type. So integer has superclass number and object. I cannot pass a double value. I cannot pass a long value. So only it accepts integer as well as object as well as numbers. Now let's use that particular method. Let's uncomment this. Here I have created a list of integer values which is empty as of now, and I'm calling by passing this empty list to this method. And what should be the output? Since this method takes an empty list and it is adding some values here, it will be filled up with 10 elements. Now I can pass the list of numbers also like this. Uncomment this. One more thing, let's see. I cannot pass the list of double values. Let's make this to double and see. So here let's say double list and change this to double list. As you will see here, I cannot pass the double list because double class is not a superclass of integer. This is what is the lower bound example. Let's delete this and let's see what is unbounded. So we have covered as of now lower bounded and upper bounded. Let's see what is unbounded. If we'll say list of question mark only. So here I can pass any kind of list. I can pass the object list also. I can pass double list also. So let's see where exactly we should use this unbounded wildcard and where we need to use the upper bounded, where we will use the lower bounded. So let's just revert it back. There are some rules which are defined by Java. So upper bounded wildcards should be used in case of in parameters. That means you are not going to modify the parameter inside your method. For example, here this list is a in parameter. I'm just utilizing this particular list to do some logic. So we should use the upper bounded wildcard. Next is lower bounded wildcard should be used for out parameter. In case of this particular method, just have a look. This list is an empty list and we are modifying the list. We are just adding some elements into the list. So this is in turn modified and ultimately we are printing this particular list here. And in case of the variable used an in and out parameter don't use the wildcard. So if this particular list or whatever be the collection you are using it as a parameter, if that is being used for both types, then you should not use the wildcards. And where to use unbounded wildcard? Where you have a requirement like you only access the object class method. Let's say here, for example, new object dot. So if I'm utilizing any of this method in my logic, then I should use the unbounded wildcard. Let's delete and let's try to run this program. What it prints. As you can see here, add numbers. It is taking integer list, empty integer list, and it is adding those values, 10 values, and it is printing here. Similar manner, here I'm passing a number list which is containing of numbers, and I'm printing the values here. I hope this is clear to you. If any doubt is there, please write in the comment section. I'll try to clarify it. So this particular example is there in my GitHub link, which is provided below in the description section. You can go and download it. So in the next session, we will cover about the arrays and how to use these arrays. Thanks for watching this video and stay tuned.